Unions New South Wales held its annual organising conference recently with representatives from community unions across the state coming together to hone their skills. Mary Yaager is the campaign coordinator at Unions New South Wales. Mary, can you tell us a little bit about these new community unions?
Yeah, well, it's an exciting new initiative that Unions New South Wales established at the beginning of this year. We learnt that after the last state election that we had lots of rallies all over the state, with a big one in September last year, the biggest in a generation, and we realised we weren't winning that way. So we thought, how do we go back to winning? And we realised that grassroots campaigning is the way to go, and bringing people together in their communities, like police and nurses and members of the community, to work together and campaign together for their agenda.
And what sort of feedback have you been getting?
Oh, absolutely fantastic feedback. People are really grateful that we've put them together, and when they hear each other's stories, when they get up and they tell each other what's going on for them, like the police losing their death and disability, or the nurses maybe losing their ratios, or the electricity sector being perhaps privatised. People are really concerned, and they realise that this is why we need to all get together in our communities to campaign together.
And you've recently held your organising conference. What were some of the highlights of that?
I think Tony King from Grafton getting up and telling us how they organised the whole town around that, the jail being downsized and closed, and we had the mayor, the business chamber, the local member, everybody in that whole town campaigning against and trying to get that decision reversed, and that them setting up the model for everybody else. That's what the feedback I got.
Well, Mary, we caught up with some of the participants, and here's what they had to say about the importance of their local union community.
Look, I think as a result of a lot of the governments over the years not actually listening to the people they're supposed to be representing, there's been a lot of apathy that's developed, and I think I'm hopeful that this community union alliance, I guess, this coming together will actually allow people to have a voice and really give nowhere to hide for the local elected MPs.
It's really powerful having that community alliance, because I think whilst you know the problems that are going on in your own industry or your own workplace or your own union, but when everyone joins together, they educate each other, and then you have some hope for some change.
We faced a huge issue this year. We're a community in a regional area, and we've had many closures, which has greatly impacted on our community financially. Just in the last 4 or 5 months, we've seen the restructure of our local jail. Now, we've been a jail community for some time, going back to the 1800s. And there was a proposal to restructure our jail, which led to a deletion of 108 jobs. My job was one of those jobs that were being deleted, or teaching staff were being taken away from the jail as the numbers were being reduced. So we got our community together to fight that, because we saw that this would be another nail in the coffin for Grafton.
Hold the local member to account like we did. He came out supporting 108 public sector jobs being axed out of his electorate. When you equate those figures to Sydney in terms of ratio of population, you're talking 25,000 job cuts should the same ratio apply in Sydney. That's massive. And they were doing that to a country town. The local member was initially supporting it, and we changed his idea. I think that this shows that this initiative and this cause has power.
So I would say that a community empowered is just a wonderful thing to see, and we, very great deal of pride, changed the government, and also we got rid of the sitting Prime Minister. So that is a way of saying to people, you do have the power. The other instance I'd like to draw to your attention is Ultima Primary School, where they were going to have a big office block, and that community went out and fought the government, and they decided not to go ahead with this. So the community is very empowered, but they need to have the information. And this is what we must do as our Ride Alliance, is to get that information out there and have people really know what the issues are. At the moment they don't, so they don't know what to do.
We're hit heavily at the moment with privatisation. That's a real issue. We actually wanted our jails closed, so closures is a real issue for us. So we've got a lot of issues, and one regional job is one job too many, and one that works in the public sector usually fund 3 in the private. So it really is a domino effect in a regional community.
We don't achieve anything by standing alone. I think that people standing together is really a strong statement in the community.
We've got to get the message out there, one, that unions aren't aren't bad. We're not the bad people in all this. We're here trying to achieve better outcomes for our workers, better outcomes for our family and friends in our community. That's all.
So Mary, some interesting feedback there. What are some of the challenges moving forward for you?
I think, and this has come clearly through the conference, talking to people at the conference and after the conference, and also the local community groups, is educating the community, letting the community know what they have actually lost and what they're about to lose, and the impacts of some of the government's decisions on them.
Well, I look forward to sort of hearing how it all progresses in the next 12 months.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.